All right, we're going to be drawing a tree that pretty much has no leaves this time. This could be a tree that's either a dead tree or a tree that is gone dormant, like how trees do over the winter season. So, first thing we're going to do is draw the tree trunk. So we're going to start at the top, work our way down, a little bit of a bumpy, crooked, tilted line. Okay, because you go from the top down, you can go from the bottom up, but make sure the tree trunk is bigger at the bottom, smaller as you go up, and you go to a point. So there's is the tree trunk, and three reasons why tree trunks are bigger at the bottom. Okay, one is for strength and stability. So it's strong enough to hold up all the weight that's going to be up here on the top. Another reason is this is the oldest part of the tree. So if you were going to cut through this, you would have a lot more rings down here for every year the tree's been growing versus up here you would have not very many rings at all. So a newer part of the tree, oldest part of the tree, and you have to have room for all the roots coming in. Since the tree is pretty much bigger underground than it is above ground. So three reasons are this is the strongest part of the tree, this is the part of the tree that's the oldest part of the tree, and this is the part of the tree that has to have all the roots coming in. So three reasons why it's got to be bigger and getting smaller as you go up. All right, so what we're going to do is pretty much when you draw most trees, we need to start off with a shape that is going to be similar to this. You want to erase a couple holes in the tree and not across from each other. They should be like maybe diagonal from each other, something similar to that. And we're going to add a branch on each side that's shorter and smaller than the tree trunk. Because this branch is newer, hasn't been growing as long, it still needs to be bigger here where it connects because needs to be the strongest part of the branch. Another one over here. Okay, shorter and smaller than the tree trunk. If this was as big or bigger than the tree trunk, it would just like fall off, or it would take the whole tree with it and the whole thing would tip over. So we want to have something that's similar to a bird's foot shape. Okay, this is the best way to start off drawing any kind of a tree, maple tree, hickory tree, oak tree, just any kind of a tree. This is the best way to draw, except for like a pine tree. But any kind of other tree, which is called more of a deciduous tree, a tree that drops its leaves, loses its leaves, is a deciduous tree. This is the best way to start. Okay, so since we're going to be having a tree with no leaves, we're going to be adding branches upon branches here. So what we're going to do, and we want to have overlapping branches. So I'm going to show you how the branches can come out the back, front, or side of the branches that are here. So what we're going to do first is add a branch over here on the left. So add a branch that's shorter and smaller than the one it connects to. So see how that branch is shorter and smaller than this one. It's not longer than this one, it's shorter than this one is. So shorter and smaller than the one it connects to. Okay, if you add that, and this is going to be a little confusing the first couple times, but if you add this and you just leave the line there, this line like cuts it off. It's like overlapped. So this branch goes around and connects to the back of this one. You can't see how it connects because it's cut off like that. So this branch comes out the back. Now, if you add a branch and then you erase this little line that is right here, okay, making this open-ended right there. So that's called open-ended. So if you do that, now it comes out the side of the branch. So it's coming right out from the side. So with the line, it was the back. Erasing the line so it's open-ended, it comes out the side. Okay. Now, to make it come out the front, what you do is you go in here and you can add a couple pieces of curve shape, or it could be one that goes all the way across. Or if you want to leave a little gap in there, that's okay. But if you add a little bit of a curve or a couple pieces of curves, so now this overlaps in front. Because now you can see it connect. It actually goes on top of this branch a little bit, so now it overlaps in the front. So we went from the back to side to the front. Okay, and that's a little confusing, so we'll go ahead and try that over here. Again, add another branch, shorter and smaller than the one it connects to. Can go out any direction you want, any place you want. So if I add a branch and do nothing, this is like cut off. It attaches to the back. So this one comes out the back. Now if I erase the line here, where it connects, and now it's open-ended because the end is open. This comes out the side. It's coming out the side of the branch. Now, if I go ahead and add a curve like this, or a couple pieces of curve like that, now it overlaps in front. It goes over the branch a little bit. We can see how it connects. So that's how you do overlapping branches. Okay, because if you don't do overlapping, pretty much every branch is just like as flat as the paper. This helps things appear to go maybe back, come out a little bit more, a little more overlapping. So this comes out the front. Okay, so we're going to add one more over here. We're going to add a branch just kind of coming down, shorter and smaller than the one it connects to. So if I add this and do nothing, it comes out the back. So now if I add that and erase this line to make this open-ended, okay, now it comes out the side. So now if I have that erased and I go in here and add some C-shaped curve, okay, and you can like leave a little gap in there so it looks like it kind of, pretty much just looks more natural. You don't have to do the curve all the way around because some areas it might flatten out a little bit more where it connects. Now it comes out the front, so now it's like coming out more towards you. Okay, all right, so we'll add one more over here. See, I'll kind of go back this way a little bit. So shorter and smaller than the one it connects to. Okay, so if I leave it, it comes out the back. Okay, so it's going out the back, going like connects to the back and kind of going back away from you this way, you know. Okay, it's like going back like that. Okay, and when it goes back, it is like receding. It's going away from you. It's receding back. So if I erase this line, so they are open-ended, now it's coming more out the side, so it's more going like straight down. And if I add another curve up here, okay, or a couple parts of curves, now it's more projecting. It's coming like towards you. It's kind of coming towards you and kind of down this way. So if it comes out the back, it's like receding, going away. At the side, it's just going like this flat, top, down, kind of right along the edge of the paper. If it comes out the front, it's projecting. Okay, it's like coming like towards you more, like that. It's projecting towards you. Okay, like that. So there's another example like that one. All right, so we're going to add one more over here, add one on this branch, so they just keep getting smaller. So I'm going to add that, and I'm going to go ahead and erase. We don't want them all coming out the front, so I'm going to erase so this is open-ended, so this one comes out the side, like that. And if you have a little bit of a line come off on accident, I'm going to kind of redraw that one just so it's open-ended. So that one comes out the side, and I'm going to add one more over here, okay, and I'm going to add a smaller branch than the one it connects to. So I added that branch, and I'm just going to leave the line like this one comes out the back. Okay, all right, so it's receding, it's going away from you like that one. And this one is just kind of going straight across like that. All right, so you can have the branches come out the back where they recede. Okay, they can come out the side where they're just going really flat like along the paper, or they can come out the front and come out more towards you, which is projecting. Okay, all right. So there's an example of overlapping. That can be kind of confusing, but they can come out the back, side, or front. Another way to have lines and for the branches to overlap each other is to go something similar to this, where you can have one branch go over another one. So if I add a branch that starts here and goes over the top of the tree trunk, so I'll just draw one like this. Okay, so that branch now goes over one that's already there. Kind of like I have one finger and then another finger like that. Right? So if that happens, you'd have to decide, okay, now which one do I want to be in front? Okay, so I'm going to go back. I could either erase these two little lines, and this would be in front, this one I just drew, or I could erase these lines, and then the one that's there could be in front. So I'm going to go ahead and erase so the tree trunk is empty again. So it's going to be in front. Okay, so now it's like I have my finger here, and then this finger goes like back behind, like that is what happened. So the top of the tree trunk overlaps the branch that goes behind it. So that's how you can show overlapping. So that's another way to show overlapping. Besides keeping connected them, you know, like how we did out here, you can have them overlap that way. Okay, so that's another way to do overlapping branches as well. All right, so and you can keep going. Usually about 12 or so is pretty good to show when a tree is like dormant or has died, because usually you're going to see a lot more branches. So I would probably need to add just a few more here, but that's enough for now, just to kind of show you how this is done. So details, tree bark follows the direction of the branches. This kind of squiggly lines, they can crisscross, they can overlap each other. So you go ahead and add some lines in here. They can just be shorter lines that you keep connecting together. So you go ahead and add the lines that follow the direction of the branches. Okay, long squiggly lines like this. All right, so it's good to add some details. Now when you do like the main tree trunk, you don't have to go all the way down like that. Okay, in fact, usually, tree bark does not do that. Usually you just take shorter lines and just kind of keep connecting like this. All right, when they get all in this area here, they just kind of all crash together, all the tree bark lines, and then you can just kind of keep adding kind of squiggly lines that could crisscross, they can overlap. So this is a good way to go ahead and add tree bark on here as well. All right, you would see like a squirrel nest or bird nest. Squirrels tend to build their nests more with sticks and leaves. Birds more with like straw, grasses, maybe some twine they find. So you would want to make them different. You might see, if this is a tree that's just dormant, you might go ahead and see a couple leaves that are still like hanging on the tree, even though this is pretty much a tree with no leaves. You could draw a couple leaves that are maybe still on the tree. I'll add just a few. Okay, so maybe there's a few leaves that are still on there. Time we'd add some color in here as well, some browns, maybe some grays in here. Then we'd have something that looks a lot more realistic, something you would have a chance to see outside that might grow from a seed, versus on a handout, we have some attempts here at drawing trees that don't have leaves. Once again, tree trunks are bigger at the bottom, where this one's more upside down. Lots of times the branches will be done similar to this. They'll just do single lines that are all the same thickness. They might all be the same length, that look like this on the end. This one tried to get maybe a little too bumpy and everything on there. So it's just a little more challenging drawing something to look real on there. But these are a couple examples from the handout I took from, student examples, put them together. The one that I drew as an example, there's another tree without leaves. So by the time we go through this process, we have something that's a little more realistic, believable, where you can see something maybe, or have a chance to see something that looks like this that grew from a seed, versus others, like from the handout, where you would really not see anything that would grow from a seed, like those ones I just showed you. So great job going through this process and learning how it's kind of confusing about back, side, and front, projecting and receding branches. And add some details in there and going through that. Just great job going through that, and just excellent job. All right.